I hit live and it started before I could even get ready. All right. So, there's a few things that I need to do to get this motorcycle going. Actually, one more thing that I need to get going, but one thing that I want to mention before that is that I will not have rear brakes. So, the reason I will not be having my rear brakes is because this caliper is way too thick, and the mount that goes between the swing arm and the wheel itself is just too thick, and I'll show that to you in just a second. And pretty much I have to, there's a bunch of pieces here that connect to the caliper, which is the brake fluid, and I will no longer need that because I'm going to be using regenerative braking, and I have a disc brake up front. So I will be removing a bunch of accessories so that I could use this foot pedal here. Now, on the front side, I have a pedal, but on the other side, I'm just gonna have to remove all this stuff. So let me show you the clearance that I actually have that I'm working with before I remove it. So here's the caliper, and this is where it mounts to, right? So these are the holes, and before I didn't have a hub motor. So the hub motor actually makes this whole motorcycle electric. Now, if you look closely, this is pretty thick. So there's no, here, actually, I'm going to see if I could add some lighting in here. No, it's not allowing me to put any light. Anywho, so you could see there's a plate here that is threaded up against the backside here with this nut, and there's not much space that I have left. And if you look at the top side here, this caliper is pretty much knocking up against the hub motor, and that's why I won't be able to use the rear brakes. I might have to weld a different location to maybe offset this caliper, but on top of that, this QS motor actually has 3 mounting points for the disc brake, and my old disc brake actually has 4 mounting holes. So I would not be able to use the original disc brake for this. I would have to get a disc brake that allows for 3 mounting plates, and I would have to figure out a way to have a thinner caliper. But thankfully on the front end, you could tell I have a disc brake, and on the back side I'll have regenerative braking. But here is the foot pedal that I actually need for the other side, but since that foot pedal is attached to all the rear brake accessories, I want to go over this and remove all this stuff, mount it onto here, and then I will pretty much wait until I have some good weather which is pretty much coming up. So I might be able to post this video within the next week or two to test drive this, because this bike is pretty much ready, but I don't want to ride it with an awkward right foot on the frame here. So I'm going to pretty much take all those accessories off. So let's start that. I'm gonna move. All right, so here we are. I actually looked into this earlier. So here is the caliper. We have 3 hex. This is a 4mm hex. Actually, let's see if I could lower this down more for you guys. There you go. All right. So pretty much we got hex drivers. And I believe the first one that I did was actually pretty tight. This was the extremely tight one, but I loosened it up so I could do it by hand. But I'm pretty sure they were seized up. So I'm using a drill to pretty much an impact drill to take these out. All right, wow, this is a pretty long screw. Now I'm using a 1/4-inch socket so that I could use this impact driver on here. Oh, clearly it's not magnetic. All right, perfect. That is the second screw. Put that off to the side. Now for the third one. Awesome. Now that plate will come off because I won't need this. And then this is the third screw. Oh, it looks like the oh, look at that. It looks like it's seized up. Let me see if I can pop it back out. There we go. All right, and we have some. So there's that plate that was protecting everything, and everything was mounted towards, so I will not need that. Let's flip this over. I mean, maybe I'll be able to use this, but with the way this is designed, this whole plate is designed and how thick this is, I just don't think it's going to work. So let's see. Oh, I believe this is a 10mm hex bolt. Let's try to loosen that. I actually just had this loose. There we go. So I'm going to take this off, which is unfortunate because usually this is all perfectly set up where when you set up your brake lever with all the springs, but I have to have a way to put my foot somewhere when I'm riding. So, all right, so that spring is off. Hands are probably gonna get dirty here. All right. I don't know. Maybe I'll use a plier. Try to make sure I was a little prepared in this video. There we go. So there's the spring assembly. So I will no longer need that. I should, oh, nice. This pretty much pops out. Awesome. So there's your lever, foot pedal, pretty much, that you would use to use when it comes to braking. And actually, I believe we could also just take this off. This is where you would plug up your connector for your brake. Actually, I believe I was able to, oh, there we go. It's threaded. So actually, I don't know if I'll be able to take this plastic piece off, but we'll see if that's possible. This is gonna be all right. Maybe, oh, awesome. It kind of, it's like a retaining ring almost, if you couldn't tell. So, all right. It's gonna be a little awkward to mount this foot pedal with all these holes, but I mean, I might just cap these off for the time being. Maybe I'll 3D print a cap or something. And now let's try to shift the camera, because now the camera is going to be needed right here, because this is exactly where this gets mounted to. So give me a second here. I believe these are, actually, I think, yeah, this is much bigger. I don't remember what size those were, but I might just hand tighten it and tighten it up later. All right, so now without this entire assembly, I can just mount this foot pedal. So when I test drive this, I'll have a place to put my right foot. Awesome. So look at that. Actually, do not remember the size of the hex size of these screws. So I'll tighten these down later, but for video's sake, there we go. There it is. All right. Yeah, it's a little loose for now, but like I said, I gotta just pretty much tighten this up. But at least I have a foot pedal to rest my foot onto on both sides. And let's go back. So pretty much, as mentioned before, this is the rear brake assembly. Here's the caliper. It was pretty much too thick for this QS motor because it was. Let's put it back on here just so you guys have a rough idea. So with the way that it was mounted, this caliper was too thick and it was bumping up against this electric hub motor that I installed for the electric motorcycle that I'll be test driving. And this mounting plate was pretty much just way too thick. So I'll have to figure out a way to buy something different. I'm not sure if there's calipers thin enough that I could put. At least there is regenerative braking. I removed this assembly that was attached to this foot pedal that I needed because on the other side of this motorcycle, there was nothing attached to this, so I was able to just leave this be. And as mentioned before, the previous disc brakes had 4 mounting holes, whereas this QS motor, let me just take this off really quick. So this QS motor has 3 mounting holes, 1, 2, and the bottom 3. And I will need to figure out a better way to use a disc brake system here. So if you guys have any ideas or thoughts on how I could pretty much modify this or improve this setup, that would be great, extremely helpful, because I would like to be extremely safe and have both disc brakes on either side, but unfortunately on this side I will just be using the motor to slow me down. But that's pretty much all I had. If you guys have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. But besides that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll catch you guys, the next time I'll catch you guys is my test drive on this motorcycle. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.